Did you ever think what it would be like traveling along in an open car without a windshield? Boy, you wouldn't go very far before you got all splattered with mud. And you'd have to keep your eyes closed so as not to be blinded by the dust. Well, when you're traveling along in life, Rangers, common sense acts as a pretty important windshield. It lets you see where you're going.
I am the greatest.
Did you ever think what it would be like traveling along in an open car without a windshield? Boy, you wouldn't go very far before you got all splattered with mud. And you'd have to keep your eyes closed so as not to be blinded by the dust. Well, when you're traveling along in life, Rangers, common sense acts as a pretty important windshield. It lets you see where you're going.
I am the greatest.
Welcome, everyone, to Amend the Mass Media Group, Road to Reparations Community Show. Thank you for those who are showing up on our live stream, live broadcast, and for those who are going to be on the replay. My name is Umoya.
Thanks for joining, everyone. My name is Kim with Amend, and thank you for joining. This is our final leg of the Assembly member meet and greet. So thank you for joining as we wrap up our introductions of the Cal Legislature.
Thank you for joining us today. I am Darlene, and this is a special show, as Kim just mentioned. It is our last one of the Assembly members here in California, and we appreciate everyone who has either came in person or watched the views, the replay.
Go to reparationsnowdoc.com. That's reparationsnowdoc.com to get all access behind the scenes and etc. and etc.
The theatrical release of Reparations Now, the documentary, is also streaming now on Tubi TV.
Go to etnmediagroupstore.com. That's etnmediagroupstore.com for the latest merch.
Also, when you do your Amazon shopping, be sure to click on the ETM Amazon affiliate link prior to filling your basket up. And that's another way that you can help ETM Media out doing what it is you do anyway.
And just to continue, oh, you can go to the next one. Just to continue, 2024 Reparations Manifestation Plan are also available on Amazon, and all these links should be available in the description. So if you do need or would like to, and we'd greatly appreciate it, to follow up on some of these links, you can look for the links in the description of this video and probably most of our previous videos as well.
And also just a reminder that the 5 forms of reparations are restitution, compensation, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition. And also, as we finish with our road, our path to reparations this show, just a reminder that it's going to take 41 Assembly members to sign off on our reparations legislation, plus 21 senators and 1 governor, and that equals California reparations.
One bill that's currently set to move through the 2024 legislative session is SB 490, which would establish a CAFA office, that is the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, which would be put in place, provide the infrastructure for genealogy, verifications, a communications and media affairs office, data research collection office, and more. So we definitely need this important infrastructure to be established to help in our quest for reparations and help with reparations distribution. Currently, SB 490, authored by Senator Stephen Bradford, is in the Judiciary Committee. So definitely we want to keep an eye on that. There are even ways that you can track that bill so you know everything that's going on with it, or definitely stay tuned in right here to ETM Media. We will keep you informed on any SB 490 updates. Contact your state legislatures. Here's a handy QR code. You can take a screenshot of that and you can find out who your legislatures are and contact them with your concerns.
All right, we're going to be going over the New York reparations bill later this year. Also, the 1866 Reconstruction treaties between the United States and Oklahoma tribes. Here's some information on what we're calling the position letter portal. We've actually gone over this quite a few times, so if you do want more information, go to callegislation.lc.ca.gov to find out more information on that. And also, once you are signed up, you can actually put in your position letter in their position letter portal. And as you can see on the screen, here's more of an elaborative way that you can, just an example, you can put in for your position letter if you would like to as well.
All right, here are the California Legislative Black Caucus members again. There are 12, 10 Assembly members, 2 Senate members that are currently in office. You're going to want to reach out to them to find out what their upcoming reparations legislation looks like and to urge them to support existing legislation, SB 490. CJEC official has been putting out calls to action. Screenshot these or swing by CJEC official on Twitter, where all of this information is there. These tools make it super simple to reach out to your legislatures, the governor. Screenshot that. Like I said, you can just basically click a button and put in your information and submit your letter. And you can tailor your letter as you please when you are reaching out to these legislatures.
All right. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the exploration of income, poverty, and educational census data between or for Black and white populations, we actually covered it live right here on Emin. So go ahead over to our channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel and please like and share. Well, but yes, we covered the U.S. Census webinar, and that was what was the 25th Thursday? I think it was the last Thursday. If you haven't had a chance, please check it out. And I think we're actually not. I think we're currently trying to get a representative of the U.S.
We're losing you to the matrix a little bit, Umoya.
All right, is that better?
Yeah.
Much.
All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. So basically, we're going to, we are currently reaching out to the U.S. Census to have someone come onto the platform and give us more of a granular session, and we can ask more questions, not only from Emin the Mass Media Group, but obviously from the viewers. So please stay tuned for that and ask as many questions as you can. And also, we covered the last Asheville Reparations Commission coverage. That was on 122. So if you haven't seen that one, you can review that one as well.
All right. So we can get started with meeting today's assembly members.
Okay. That would be me. I am up first. Okay. Our first assembly member is Assembly Member Kati Petri Norris. She is with the Democratic Party, and she is from Assembly District 73. Her tenure is from 2022 to present, and her term ends on 2024. She has a state capitol office in Sacramento, and she has a district office in Irvine, California. According to the 2020 census, the total population is 500,525. For some reason, I like that number. It's just a cool number to me, for no other reason. The population, her white, is 36.63%, or 183,345. Hispanic or Latino, 21.91%, or 109,667. Black at 1.93%, or 9,645. Asian at 33.61%, or 168,240. Her counties include Orange County, which cities of Costa Mesa, Irvine, Tustin. She supports ways to improve access to health care. She supports our veterans, small businesses, and access to clean drinking water. And so remember, Petri Norris is with the Democratic Party. She is a member of the California State Assembly, representing District 73. She assumed office December the 5th, 2022. Her current term ends 2024. And let's see. She is running for re-election to the California State Assembly to represent District 73. And she is on the ballot for the primary, which is on March 5th, 2024. Her AB 3121 vote was yay.
Do you know what seat she was in when she voted yay?
No, I
This
don't.
information is telling me that she's only been in position 1 year, and the tenure was 2020. But I did do my due diligence and check to make sure that she was on the master list, and it does appear that she voted yes. So we'll just have to look into where she was at when she did that.
Okay.
All right. Up next, we have Lori Davies of the Republican Party. She has office at the state capitol as well as in Orange County, and also in Oceanside. She has a office there too if anybody wants to contact her. She supports small business. The counties that she represents is Orange and San Diego. The population size that she represents is approximately 510,000. Whites at 52% at 265,000. The Black population is at 3% at 15,316. Asian is at 30,000 at 6%. And Hispanic is at 33% at 168,479. Lori Davies is a member of the California State Assembly, once again representing District 74. She assumed office on December 5th, 2022. Her current term ends on December 2nd, 2024. Davies is running for re-election to the California State Assembly to represent District 74. She is on the ballot in the primary on March 5th, 2024. Looks like Lori Davies defeated Scott Reinhardt in the general election for California State Assembly District 73 on November 3rd, 2020. In November 3rd, 2020. So she was not an assembly member at the time of AB 3121. So her current status is not in office.
Actually, she just missed it by a couple of months, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll have to contact her and, see how she feels about it all. All right, up next, dun, dun, dun. I've been waiting for Assemblymember Waldron to see exactly what she's all about. And it looks like she's with the Republican Party, California State Assembly District 75. She's been in this position since 2012 to present. Her term ends 2024. Years in position, 11. All right, so let's see here. She represents the counties of Riverside and San Diego. She has office at the state capitol here in Sacramento, as well as one in San Diego. There's contact information for that there. The population in her district is 493,000. Race and ethnicity breakdown would be white. We have at 50, is that 52% or 50.8%, and that's approximately 250,000. Hispanic at 34.7%, 171,000. Black at 3% at 15,000, and Asian at 7.2%, 35,000 approximate residents. She supports patient access to health care, opiate substance use, and mental health treatment. Let's take a closer look at her bio. Again, she's with the Republican Party, representing District 75. She assumed office December 3rd, 2012. Her current term ends December 2nd, 2024. Waldron, Republican Party, ran for re-election to the California State Assembly to represent District 75. She won in the general election on November 8th, 2022, which is why she's in the position she's in now. And she served as the State House Minority Leader from 2018 to 2022. It does not look like she has further political aspirations in the upcoming election. And she did vote no on AB 3121. Yes, she is one that we're familiar with here at ETM Media as a no voter on AB 3121.
I'm surprised it doesn't state her further aspirations, as you say. Or she may not have any.
And maybe, and she's been in the position for quite some time. She may be coming out.
Yeah, may not have any.
But she still can use her vote in the upcoming legislative session. So definitely keep Assemblymember Waldron on your radar.
Okay, next up, we're going to ask Kim, Assemblymember Brian Manishi. What do you think? Kim.
Let's see. Mansion,
Mason?
Mansion, maybe.
mansion.
Mansion. Oh, good
Okay.
luck, Darlene.
Well, yeah, was okay. Assemblyman Brian, he is with the Democratic Party, and he is at the California State Assembly District 76. His tenure is 2022 to present. His term ends 2024, and he's been in this position for 1 year. But I know that he was in District 73 prior. He has an office in the state capitol in Sacramento. He has a district office in San Diego. According to the 2020 census, his total population is 471,670. White at 44.39%, or 209,000. Hispanic or Latino, 30.54%, or 144,000. Black at 1.93%, or 9,107. Asians at 16.98%, or 80,104. His counties consist of San Diego, cities of San Marcos, Escondido, the north side, and Rancho Santa Fe. He supports maternal mental health. He supports giving service to the disabled community, and also preventing gun violence, and also animal rights. Assemblymember Brian is with the Democratic Party. He's a member of California State Assembly representing District 76. He assumed office on December 5th, 2022. His current term ends on December 2nd, 2024. He is running for election for the San Diego City Attorney in California. He is on the ballot in the primary on March the 5th. And he switched parties. He was a Republican. He switched over to the Democrat on January 24, 2019. He said Donald Trump has led the Republican Party to the extreme on issues that divide our country. But his leadership is not the only reason for my change in party affiliation. He says, I too have changed. Now he is running for, as I said, the San Diego City attorney, and it's him and Kristen Bruce Lane, who is currently the chief deputy city attorney, Joseph Roca, who is a Democrat, and I'm sorry, Kristen is a Republican, and a Darsha Patel, a Democrat, is also running for the chief deputy of city attorney. The current city attorney, Maya Elliott, supports, of course, Kristen Bruce Lane, but Brian is being endorsed by Secretary of State Weber and also Attorney General Rob Bonta.
Thank you for providing that detailed information, Darlene.
You're welcome. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got the endorsement of
Secretary of State Weber.
and the DOJ.
Yes. And he has a firm lead. So, but you never know what's getting ready to happen.
Okay. Something to keep an eye on.
And I'm sorry, his AB 3121 was a yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mansion. All right. Next we have Tasha Barner Horvath of the Democratic Party. She has offices at the state capitol in Solana Beach, and also it's like a PO box at the state capitol. Anyway, you have 3 ways to contact her if you need to. She supports higher education, veterans affairs, emergency management, public employment, and retirement. She represents counties of San Diego. The 2020 census population that she represents is approximately 508,000. Hispanic or Latino at 14% at 74,000. White alone at 65% at 333,000. Blacks or African Americans alone is at 10,943 at 2%. Asian alone, 54,000 at 10.71%. American Indian and Alaska Native alone at 0.25%. Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders at 0.17. See what else. She is a member of the California State Assembly, of course, representing District 77. She assumed office on December 5th, 2022. Her current term ends on December 2nd, 2024. Horvath is running for re-election to the California State Assembly to represent District 77. She is on the ballot in the primary on March 5th, 2024. And she did vote an aye on AB 3121.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I need to also check to see when she was in office and what district as well. So before we get off, I know there was another one that we probably should check on too. So before we wrap up with the assembly, we'll check up on Horvath and
Petrie Norris.
Petrie Norris, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, Yamoya. And up next, we have Assembly Member Christopher Ward, representing Assembly District 78. His tenure is from 2020 to present. His term ends 2024. Years in position 3. It looks like he does have political aspirations to resume being Assembly Member for District 78. He is on the March 5th, 2024 ballot. Let's see here. He represents the counties of San Diego and El Cajon. He has an office here in Sacramento at the state capitol and also a district office in San Diego. The population that he represents is 512,852. The breakdown by race and ethnicity is Hispanic or Latino, 113,000 plus, and that's at 22.9%. White at 49.44%, and that's 253,560. Residents, Black, African American, we have 4.7% at 24,120. And Asian, we have 16.17% at 82,915. Let's see, he supports housing, homelessness, climate, state budget, and water supply issues. Let's see, anything else here? His term ends December 2nd, 2024. And as I've stated, he is on the March 5th ballot to run again for District 78. He was not in office at the time of the AB 3121 vote. So it looks like you're doing some fact checking back there in the background, Moya. So he must have, let's see, well, he took, okay, maybe if I would just read. He assumed office on December 7th, 2020. So he assumed office just a little bit after the AB 3121 vote. So that's why, even though it does indicate that he was in office in 2020, he was not seated at the time of the AB 3121 vote.
Okay. Again, If you caught our California Legislative Black Caucus show, you would know that Dr. Keely Weber is a member of the CLBC, and she is the daughter of Secretary of State Shirley Weber. She is she belongs to the Democratic Party, and she is a candidate for the California State Assembly. I'm sorry, she is California State Assembly District 79. Her tenure is from 2021 to present, and her term ends 2024. She has an office at the state capitol in Sacramento, and she has a district office in La Mesa, California. According to the 2020 census, the total population is 503,000, white at 27.0% or 136,745, Hispanic or Latino 43.0% or 217,636, Black at 11.16% or 56,469, Asian at 12.99% or 65,703. Her county is San Diego, and it includes the areas of La Mesa, Lemon Grove, Spring, La Presta. She supports, she chaired, there wasn't a lot on her, but she chaired the La Mesa Homeless Task Force, and she supports public health, STEM programs for underdeserved youth, and she introduced AB 1815 on discrimination, and has to do with hairstyles of amateur sports organization. And as I said, she is a member of the CLBC. She was not in office during the AB 3121 vote. And Assembly Member Dr. Weber is in the Democratic Party, and she's a member of the California State Assembly representing District 79. She assumed office on April 19, 2021. Her current term ends on December 2nd, 2024. Assemblymember Weber is running for election to the California State Senate to represent District 39, and she is on the ballot in the primary for March 5th, 2024.
All right. This is the last man. Can y'all believe it? This is
Clap,
nuts.
clap, clap, clap,
Drum
clap. Where's your-
roll, please.
Digital.
Do you have
Hand
your
claps.
clamp? But do you have your
No,
clap ready? No.
we didn't have the hand clap ready to go in this one, but we'll give our imaginary hand claps. All right. We have David Alvarez of the Democratic Party. He has an office at the Capitol, as well as a district office in Chula Vista, California. And if I recall, I think Chula Vista is going farther down in San Diego, if I'm correct. If it's not in it's a little bit below San Diego. For those who aren't familiar with Southern California and who haven't lived in California. All right, so it's pretty much close to Mexico. Supports small business, building parks, libraries, and fire stations in neighborhoods without them. According to the 2020 census population, the total population that he represents is around 517,000. Hispanic or Latino at 64%, 331,000. White alone at 14% at 74,000. Black or African American at 4% at 22,000. Asian alone at 12% at 65,000. American Indian and Alaska Native at 0.19% at 1,000. Native American / other Pacific Islander at 0.39% at 2,000. David Alvarez is of the Democratic Party and is a member of the California State Assembly representing District 80. He assumed office on June 15, 2022. His current term ends on December 2nd, 2024. Alvarez is running for re-election to the California State Assembly to represent District 80. He is on the ballot in the primary on March 5th, 2024.
It looks like
And
all those who are, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it looks like all those this time that are up for re-election are staying with their district that they are currently in.
Yeah, it is. It is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in the office of the vote for AB 3121 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is an election year. The entire
Mhm.
assembly is up for election. So we have, like I said, some that want to stay in their seats, some that will be vacating, but it is worth it to, find out who their opponents are going to be in the election, even maybe reach out to some of the opponents, see where their head is on reparations. I'm just gonna real quick drop a link in the chat to the Ballotpedia, which shows the upcoming standings for the election and who the candidates are that will be running
Oh,
for
thank you
these
for that,
seats
Kim.
in 2024. Yes.
Yeah. And also, I would think that most people have received their printed copy of their elections thing. I know I received mine about 2 weeks ago. I have not opened it, but I did receive it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, look out for that in your mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kim. Before we go into the recap, can you go back to Cotty Petrie Norris, and then so we can give an update. Okay, so this is regarding her AB 3120 vote. At the time, it says incumbent Cotty Petrie Norris and Diane Dixon defeated Kelly Earnby in the primary for California State Assembly, District 74 on March 3rd. So it looks like she won District 74 at that time during AB 3121.
Okay, all right. And who was the other one that needed researching?
Tasha Bauerner Horvath. All right. It says Tasha Borner Horvath and Melanie Burke-Holder advanced from the primary for California State Assembly District 76 on March 3rd, 2020. So it looks like then Horvath won that seat at District 76.
And that's where
during
she
the time of
voted yes for
Yes,
AB 3121. Okay.
correct.
Thank you. And it's just amazing that you even have these no's. I mean, it's a study. I don't know. Just that still amazes me, though.
Yep.
It is just a study.
All right. So let's see. We're on 73. Yes, 73.
Mhm.
Okay. Cotty Petrie Norris voted yes. Lori Davies, not in office. Marie Waldron.
We know how she voted.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Brian Manchin voted yes. Tasha Bauerner Horvath voted yes. Christopher Ward, not in office. Akilah Weber, not in office. And David Alvarez, not in office.
I'm doing a hand clap.
Thank you for that. So currently, the yes votes are 31, no votes 6, not in office 39, no vote recorded 4.
Yeah, so we're going to need to flip some of those nays to yays, and also really important to work on the people who were not
in office.
at the time.
Yeah, that's 39. That's a huge number.
Yes,
that were not in office.
The NVRs as well, because why didn't you vote?
They don't want to appear as if they didn't want to study. That's my personal take.
So this is very interesting, right? I mean, we're talking about political strategy and how bills go through the legislative process. So we have primaries coming up March 5th, right? We have the SB 490 that's still sitting with the Judiciary Committee. So So the primaries are March 5th, but the actual, I'm trying to think, the actual election is in November, correct? I
Correct.
think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we got the SB 490 going through, and I guess then the question is at what point through this legislative process will these individuals actually be voting on SB 490, and when will they be in or out of office? You know what I mean? This is kind of tricky, when you talk about legislation, because if I think do they have to have, I think the governor, they have to have everything in by June, right? If I recall correctly, to the governor, so the governor can vote, because I think the session ends sometime in June, doesn't it?
But
I can't remember.
what is the February 16th date? That's the date to introduce new bills.
Yes,
So
Yes.
to introduce new bills.
So I'm just
Okay,
trying to
to
think about
introduce.
timing, right?
Timing. So it has to be introduced first. They have to be what SB 490 has already been introduced.
Exactly.
Yeah, anything else has to be introduced by the 16th, and then it needs to go over to the governor, as you're saying.
So I guess the thing is like during the primaries, right? And we should also probably like do a further recap to see who actually is running, who's not running in March. Could be, I mean, if they're running for primaries, what if they lose during March?
Yeah.
And somebody actually wins for that primary. What does that mean?
Right. Well, it depends on when it gets to the floor for the votes, when it even ever get out of judiciary.
Yeah, that's the big question, right, Kim?
Yeah, and then they have to go to committees,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be following this. This might be our last show focused solely on the assembly, but we will be following this legislative cycle all the way through.
Absolutely.
All right. And then for our watch list, as we always end our show, everybody that you see with a black highlight is no longer an issue. These are the people that voted no on AB 3121. So anybody with a black highlight is no longer in office. So we are no longer worried about them. But for the people who still are in office and voted no on AB 3121, here is our list. Megan Dale, District 1, Republican. Vince Fong, District 32, Republican. James Gallagher, District 3, Republican. Devin Mathis, District 33, Republican. Jim Patterson, District 8, Republican. Marie Waldron, District 75, a Republican. And also to keep an eye on Kevin Kiley, a Republican who is now serving in the U.S. House of Representatives, District 3, and Jay Albernalte, also a Republican in the U.S. House, District 23.
Isn't that funny, before we wrap it up, that actually the Republicans, and I mean the Republicans, I'm talking about the original Republicans, were actually more in favor with reparations. So just want to make that of note.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, actually, they were the ones that impeached. They were the one that impeached the original. Impeached. What's the president's?
Andrew Johnson.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the radicals. So I mean, but black people didn't start voting Democrat until the late, I guess, the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we were a party of Republicans.
Right, right. And there are still some out there. I remember, cleaning out my aunt's estate in Louisiana. And she actually, all this paperwork where she was donating to the Republicans. And I was like, what is she doing? Why? Why does she care? But the Deep South still does hold some of those values and loyalties towards Republicans. So now I kind
Well,
of
what year
understand.
did she pass, Kim, if I can ask?
Oh, she passed, I would say this would have been 2004. What year did Katrina happen? Whatever, it was right around when Katrina happened. I do know
2005.
that. Okay, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I
Well,
think that's about a wrap, right? I think yes.
Yes,
That's what I
that's
think.
yes.
Yes.
gonna wrap
Okay.
it up for today. Our show, our last assembly. I know, so hard to say goodbye, huh? Oh,
Yeah, when you
well.
play that song, huh?
Let's just briefly cycle through again the CJEC calls to action, um, where you can easily reach out to each of the CLBC members. All of this information is available at CJEC Official on Twitter, now known as X. And we've got calls to action for each CLBC member. You can screenshot here, or like I said, swing by CJEC Official on X, formerly known as Twitter. And all that information is there. Mhm.
Yeah. Oftentimes, when we're out canvassing, or somebody's like, "Hey, how can I get involved?" They ain't gonna do nothing. Well,
Mhm.
you have the power to do
Yes.
something.
Mhm.
I mean, stop putting all the onus on. You
Someone
know,
else.
yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And like I
Mhm.
said, CJEC makes it easy to do that, to reach out and touch somebody's ear.
Mhm. And can I
Exactly.
just add, with that, Kim, is that once you do the first call to action, you're going to be so surprised how easy it is for you to
Yes.
reach out to these legislators, who have our reparations bills in their hands.
Yes, and here we're looking at is the
Yeah.
CLBC chair, Lori Wilson. So yes, we need all of us to reach out to these people. No excuse not to with CJEC's handy dandy toolkit.
Yes. This is a team sport. We need all boots on the
Absolutely.
ground. This is, I don't know. I was talking to Kim earlier today. I just have to dedicate my life to this. This is it. This is what we have to do. Slavery was ended because of the slaves themselves. Reparations will be enacted because of us, because of descendants here, right in California and beyond. I just know
Yeah.
it. Yes, that's just
Exactly.
how. That's it. Mm-mm.
Well, before we wrap up, I'm actually gonna play a couple of videos. I'm gonna play the interview that we had with Lori Wilson,
Mm.
the interview that Antonio Harvey did with the governor, and then we'll end out with SB 490.
Mm. And before you
So
do
we have
that,
a
you
couple
more
of videos to show.
before you
Yes,
before
ma'am.
you start the video, I just want I live in Fairfield, and Assemblymember Wilson, I'm in her district, and we will be putting out a notice that we will be having a listening session, information session here in Fairfield, California. That information is forthcoming, and I will be reaching out to Assemblymember Wilson herself. Hopefully, she will take up the invite and show up that day.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's another way to reach out to your
Mm-hmm.
legislatures. Invite them to events,
Mm-hmm.
meetings that you're conducting. That's definitely one of their duties.
Yes, and her office is in that Sassoon. She's gonna be, if she's in town, she could send a representative. It's 10 minutes away from the Fairfield Civic Center Library where the event will be held. Less than 10 minutes away. So
All right. Well, hopefully
yes,
she'll accept the
sure, yeah.
invite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, family. Well, thank you for that, Darlene. As always, appreciate your work, and your dedication to
Yes,
repairing
ma'am.
the descendants of U.S. chattel slavery here in the United States.
Yes.
All right, on that note, everyone, peace and reparations. Once again, we'll be playing a couple videos, and then we'll see you next time. Peace and reparations.
So my thoughts on, I have been following the task force work, and we have two members of the Black Caucus on that, Assembly Member Reggie Jones Sawyer, as well as Senator Steve Bradford, and they regularly give updates outside of we all, have started to read the full study that had the draft come out, and we have the final coming out in June with the full recommendations. And so I think that the work they're doing is very positive and good, and I've been happy with the discussions that they've been having, not only amongst themselves, but with members of the community. And I look forward to being able to see what recommendations come out and how we can then push that through legislatively and through our budget priorities. So I support that work, and I understand there has been this great discussion on whether they're descendants of chattel slavery or are they, all members of the Black community, no matter where they are, the full diaspora. And I'm saying the name wrong, but I know as I'm talking, you know how you start talking fast. But here's the deal. I'm open to those discussions, and I actually don't have a strong opinion on them yet. I want to hear the full discussion and recommendation that comes out. I recognize when you have an advisory board, it's important to let them have that without the influence of the legislators, because we will then act on those decisions. And so I look forward to being able to have that discussion with the other 11 members of the Black Caucus and decide what it is that we want to do with this report and with this information. But the point is, we know an investment must be made. There's been a legacy of, as we talk about slavery, the impacts of slavery and voluntary servitude on the Black communities, but just a slavery of history of discrimination that has directly impacted the economy, the personal economy of Black Californians.
In regards to punditries and imperfections surrounding reparations, my understanding, Senator Stephen Bradford introduced the legislation last fall, back in August, I believe. The California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, Senate Bill 490. Just want to, get your thoughts about was there any funding allocations for the Department of Justice in regards to keeping that process going? And have you read the final report, the 1,100?
I haven't read it. I've devoured it. I've analyzed it. I've stress tested against things we've done, things we're doing, things that we'd like to do but can't do because of constitutional constraints. And I've been working closely with the Black Caucus. And I really can't stress how good a working relationship we have. Lori Wilson and others, she's been just magnificent. And we continue to work through this. They asked me, Black Caucus, they had 3 top priorities in the budget. They said, please don't cut. We didn't touch any of them. I mentioned one of them on the equity multiplier, the Bunch Center, UCLA, being another one. So we are mindful of that report, and we are deeply mindful of what will come next in partnership with the caucus, and the work continues in that space.
If I just might add right now, the state of New York they have put together a reparation task force, and they're hitting the ground running. So I would think that you're mindful of that too, correct?
No, Kathy Hochul reached out to me on this and aware of what they're doing. They're just starting a process. We just ended the first phase of that process. We're now entering second phase of the process. And as I said, working collaboratively. I don't want to get over my skis on here because of the partnership we're forming with the Black Caucus in this space to take the next steps based upon the recommendations of the report. Thank you.
SB 490, introduced by Senator Stephen Bradford, is the first legislation that will create the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency.
The CAFA agency is a recommendation from the California Reparations Task Force final report.
Possible offices within the agency could include genealogy, strategic communications, data research collection,
as well as general counsel with social services and family affairs.
Tell your representative to support the upcoming 2024 reparations legislation.
Find them at findyourrep.legislature.ca.gov.